Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nail the Sale podcast. I have Jelena with me, and we've been together working in the remote sales space for over years now. And we got a chance to connect like a couple of months ago, but and we spoke like a little bit and chit-chatting on the Facebook, Instagram here and there, supporting each other's content. All of our hustlers over here, right? So this is an amazing opportunity to have you on the show, and so we can actually listen to who you are, what you do, and what's going on in your life.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to share my experience and yeah, help somebody if I can.
Absolutely. So, I saw that on your Instagram these days. You are talking so much like you're actually pushing personal brand, personal growth, and outside the commission life of a sales rep, right? So I really wanted to like I was interested in it so I can know a little bit more about it, right? This is like a great chance, not only me specifically going to know about it, but everybody who's watching that right now. So please tell us about like what's going on in your world right now.
Sure, yeah, a lot of people have noticed that I have been pivoting a little bit with my content away from sales and, um, I guess my takeaways, my wins and losses in the sales world, taking
Hmm.
calls, whatnot offers. Because what I've found is that, there's a lot of inconsistency with the income. And since both my husband and myself have been in sales for a while, it's like,
Hmm.
the ups and downs of sales. So I was like looking for a little bit more of consistency in my life. And I
Hmm.
started looking into CSM opportunities, and now I'm like a brand consultant for a really good marketing company.
Hmm.
So that's why, like, even before I landed the CSM, I understood the importance of personal branding because of my mentors who taught me about it in the past. I knew about the personal branding outside of sales, but I never actually understood how important personal branding is for sales professionals, whether you're a closer or a setter. So I am trying to raise that awareness and show people that how you show up online actually matters and affects your success in this online world.
Awesome, awesome. And I know like we used to work in the same company as well just for a couple of days, right? And I really want to showcase your background as well. So you can tell a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from, and everything.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep the long story short. So basically,
Yeah.
I started with sales by accident. I never planned to do it. I never had any experience or aspirations to be a sales professional. But basically, it started when both my husband and myself, again, we invested in personal development and we just started generating referrals by sharing our videos on Facebook and talking about our journey with a personal development coach. So once we
Hmm.
started generating referrals, the coach actually asked us if we want to join his sales team. He had no one at the time, which was
Okay.
crazy because we were foreigners in Ireland and we never did any remote work, as such to that extension. And we had no sales background. So we basically started from zero, and that's how we entered the sales industry. I think about 4 years now, but we've been actively selling for about 3 years because we do take a lot of time off, and we use all the perks, of the remote lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
said one thing which is like very relatable when you are foreigners and you are working with US clients. A lot of people ask me the same question, like how they can be someone who can, US clients actually reach out to them and ask them, "Hey, can you work with us? Can you actually close for us or set for us?" What are your takes on it, and how would you advise them what they should need to do? Because a little, a little bit like in like a couple of days ago, I was speaking with a girl. She was like, I'm crushing it in my Spanish market, right? But when it comes to the English market, right? Whenever I speak with somebody, they're like, "Hey, you're from El Salvador, right? So we need somebody who is local." But with me specifically, Yelena, I had a lot of interviews. I even told them I'm from Pakistan, right? They still hired me, right? And I'm working on these offers right now, even right? So, but how would you like? What are your takes? Because it's all about you, not about me, right?
No, I think your story is very inspiring, and I think more people should look up to you because you overcame such huge challenges and barriers. One of them being definitely the language barrier, which is, I think, the biggest hurdle we all have. Of course, people who don't have English as first language, right, as native. So I
Absolutely.
think a lot of people can seek advice from you on that topic. Now, going back to that girl, let's use her as an example. So the most common mistake that I see that sales professionals make in this space is that they're not visible online. So how
Mm,
can I, if I'm a business owner, right? Even if it says you're from El Salvador and I come to your profile and there's zero content in English or there's no videos where I can hear you speaking in
yeah,
English, like what's going to make me think that you would be a good fit for my company, right? So
true.
that's from that point of view, that's why I'm trying to encourage sales professionals to start creating better content that's going to showcase their
Mm,
expertise. And it's like a business card. You know, when I come to your profile,
yeah.
I get to know you a little bit better. And I get enough information to make me want to reach out and ask, for an interview or something like that.
Absolutely. And when I think of like personal brand, a question comes to my mind always, like with so much content out there and experts, how can, especially AI these days, right? So how can like someone make their personal brand stand out without feeling they're shouting into the void, right?
That's a great question. And I think a
Mm,
lot of people have this question at the back of their mind, and that's what's stopping them from posting and putting
yeah.
themselves out there because it's like, who am I to be sharing, right? And what can I talk about? I have no ideas. It's not good enough. So the first thing that comes to my mind now, man, is actually the hero story. So you have to make
Mm,
yourself the hero of your story because people love reading personal stories, personal wins, losses, right? It's like, this is what happened in my life before, the hurdles, this is where I was, this is what I did to overcome that, and this is where I am now. So I'm coming through this winning, right? So it's
hmm.
like sharing your personal journey and documenting the journey every step of the way, making it relatable. I think that's the biggest thing, and being as authentic as possible. Um, AI is so good these days. Don't get me wrong. Like it can literally imitate your voice, your type of posting, all of that of content creation. But I
Mm,
think at the end of the day, people still recognize it. And if you use AI for too long or too often, your brain is gonna get lazy. So you won't be
mm,
able to produce the right content. So if somebody invites you on a podcast like this,
mm.
what are you going to talk about? Because none of the content pieces you didn't write them yourself, right? So you were not practicing what you're preaching.
That's right. That's right. And what I think is it's all about their mindset first. That needs to be shift, right? And like confused mind will never buy and will never take an action, right? Even if you are talking about your own self, myself. So when like we are fully bought in and sold out to the process that a personal brand should be, like we do post content, right? So we are committed to it. We love doing it. And sometimes we feel like, I'm gonna post it, right? That's still not bad. That's still not bad because you are feeling like you don't want to feel like posting, but you still did. And somebody actually is seeing you staying consistent and posting value, right? And when you're one great thing you said, your own story, right? Whenever I share my own story when I was a kid and how I came out and how I started selling and what was happening in my house at that time, and by accident I took the charge of my house, right? And I came into the sale. Whenever I This is like a third time I posted this story in different ways. I always got a lot of traction, right? That means your story sells better than who you are, like better than what you sell. So, what mindset changes do you think like people needs to adopt to land their first role or grow their personal brand?
The biggest thing you have to change is to start seeing yourself as a winner because we all fall
That
into the trap
hero.
of yeah, as a hero, as a winner in life, right? Because we
Mm,
all fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to other people and we make ourselves feel small and we think we're not achieving enough. There's nothing worthy of sharing, right? Who's going to read this? So there's a great exercise. I didn't come up with this. I don't know who came up with it, but I just remember
Mm,
it from my personal development story, but and journey. But it's basically creating a list of all of your wins in life. So this means like, I got
mm,
married, I found my soulmate, I paid off my
mm,
debt, or I finished college, I became a parent, I moved countries all by myself. It can be something smaller, like I learned a new language. All of these small wins that you achieved in life, and literally read them daily to remind yourself, hey, I actually came so far, I have so much to talk about. So it's really seeing yourself as being good enough to start sharing posts and believe that somebody's going to read them and find them valuable. I think
mm.
that's the biggest mindset shift.
Like a 2 3 days ago, I was just sitting with my dad, and he was like, I was like, Dad, I'm not that successful. He was like, okay, what made you say that? Do you
Mm.
remember like where we were 10 years ago and where we are at right now? Do you see any difference? And I'm like, no, that's okay. I mean, like, people out there, actors or business owners, they're my age and they're like making millions. He said, that's okay. They are making millions, but do you have the same life that you had like 10 years ago? And are you okay with the same life? You want to go back to that life? And I was like, no. So he said, like, do you think you have like success? And I was like, I don't know. He said, tell me, like, what's your definition for the success? And I started thinking, actually. I started thinking, and that made me realize that everybody, they have like different definitions, right? For you, just as you just mentioned, like, you have a happy family. You guys, shout out to Dushan. You guys have like a beautiful couple, Beauty and the Beast, right? And and Maria, right? So this is amazing for me. House full of love, living with my brothers, everybody home, right? Have kids, everything that I wanted like 10 years ago. I think that's success, and it all happens. Honestly, it all happens because I stayed consistent in sales, and I just never quit. So I would like advise anybody who's listening who's like 17, 16, or maybe 20, right? And because now 2025 is all about your own identity, your own brand, right? And if you have like something out there, the reason we are doing this right now is it's not going to monetize, right? But the only we are doing this is because this is good for our personal brands, right? So if you could like go back and give your younger self any advice about personal branding or career growth, what would it be, Yelena?
Speak up. Speak up a little bit more and a little bit more openly and honestly about how you truly feel about some things. And the reason why I say this, it goes
Hmm.
back to my very first sales trainer. He said that he read me like that. He's like, your biggest problem is that you want to be liked on the call. You want the prospect to like you. You're afraid to ruffle the feathers by saying
Hmm.
something that's a little bit, controversial, or maybe it's a little bit like more, I would even say aggressive or challenging. So I think that's
Hmm.
the only thing that I would be like, be maybe a tiny, tiny bit more aggressive with your opinion because it's important and it's okay. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to unfollow you or comment nasty stuff, but you
Hmm.
want that because you're looking for your group of people and you cannot be liked by everybody. And it's
Hmm.
it's just a
That's exactly I know where it's coming from, and I know that like this should be like that. You just need to be yourself. We don't need to just people pleaser. We cannot like
yes.
do this all the time. That's why social media is fake, right? That's why a lot of people call it fake, and that's exactly what we are working on to make it like humanizable a little bit. The other day, I was just watching a video where it was showing like the software who can generate the podcast just like the same way you and me are speaking, right? So I commented there like there will be a time come when people will charge for humanized communities where there will be only human and there is no bots, right? There will be a time come. So yeah, I mean that's amazing. I really want for the audience to like for someone listening today, what's like one actionable step that can take immediately to start growing their personal brand? What's your advice?
My advice is to ask yourself, is it important for me to start developing my personal brand? And why should I do this, right? Because some people want to stay incognito, and that's okay. You know, if you're an offer, you're happy enough, you see yourself staying there for 5 years and you think it's going to be stable, good for you. But if
Hmm,
you're somebody, and I say this, I just gonna say it like, I don't know, random number, but I think about 80% of sales professionals that I speak to, that I know for a number of months or years, they're thinking about their exit strategy. And it's a fact.
that's
You're
right.
not
It's
going
a
to be in
fact.
sales forever.
Forever. Yeah.
It's a fact, and that's what you see. Like, people are slowly transitioning into starting their own offers, becoming recruiters, starting passive income investing,
Hmm.
because sales does take a toll on your mental and physical health. And fair play to people who are there for 20 years. But I know for a fact that it's very, very small percentage of people who can stay and who find good opportunities where they can stay. So having
Yeah.
this in mind, it has never been more important to start building your personal brand, because time will come when you want to pivot. And by then, you want to
Hmm.
build your audience. You want to have your people who are going to follow you. And this is what personal brand is. They're going to follow you no matter what you do. It's like with Alex Hormozy, for example. Like, he's known for
Hmm.
his brand, for acquisition, for gyms, like
Hmm.
workouts, all of that, right? But if
That's
Alex
right.
Hormozy came out tomorrow with, well, I don't know, like an energy drink. Maybe he has one already. I don't know. But if he
Yeah,
had one, people would buy it like that because of his personal brand,
that's
right?
true.
And that's the power, you know?
Yeah, even if right now you don't have anything in mind, like I have an offer or something, just start posting it, right? Once you have an audience, you can like whatever offer you would have, the barrier of knowing, liking, and trusting will be always like already there. And when you will present an offer, people will buy. That's what these other social media influencers are doing, right? Who they're not business related people. We follow them because they're entertaining, right? And when they come up with anything, hey, we this is something I'm using right now. I bought this from there. You can go there as well. Use my affiliate link, right? And they are already making money with
Cheap.
that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a really good idea to actually put yourself out there. And lastly, I would thank you for hopping on today. And it was like an amazing, one of the best episodes. It's a shorter one, but it's amazing. It's real good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we touched on a lot of important things. So yeah, I'm always open to questions. If somebody's watching this and they have more questions, they can reach out to me on social media, and I'm always happy to hop on calls and talk more about this and give some value and help people out. But thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. Link is in the description for Yelena's Instagram and everything that you can actually go and follow her and ask her if you guys have any questions. Thank you. Peace.